I have been playing an absurd, absurd amounts of Xenoblade this last, 2 months since the release of Xenoblade Chronicles X, for Switch, right? The definitive edition. Because I never finished the original game. There was just too much going on for me, and I just kind of when I was younger on the Wii U, I started. I'm like, I'm not into this, and I just stopped. I didn't touch it anymore, and I didn't get truly into the series until Xenoblade 2, right? And I've loved it ever since. Eventually they dropped Xenoblade Definitive Edition. I enjoyed my time with Xenoblade 3, and I'm playing it as we speak. Literally, I paused the game, which was one of the hardest things I've had to do, to record some videos, to get some damn work done, because this game has me in its clutches right now. And now, Definitive Edition came out, had a great time with that, finally finished the game, apparently, I didn't know there was, a super long, massive cliffhanger that we've been left on for the last decade. I had no idea. I'm almost glad I didn't finish the game because of that. So, we got that. That was fun. And I was thinking about it a little bit here, We're just a couple of weeks away from the Switch 2's official release. It is literally, not even 3 weeks away? Something like that? I gotta make sure here, but it's on its way. It's extremely close, concerningly close. Yeah, barely 3 weeks away. And I was thinking about this. They were talking, I don't know if this is, it's not a spoiler, I don't know. This isn't anything major. But they were talking about the fact that they did find in the files for Definitive Edition of Xenoblade Chronicles X, a toggle essentially to turn on 60 frames and 1080p settings. And so we were like, oh, but it's not in the Switch 1 edition. Well, obviously this game is too new. It's super recent. They put that toggle in there and aren't going to allow it to show until we get our hands on the Switch 2, so that when we do play it and we do officially get that update, we can hit that toggle, and now, or it's not even going to be a toggle really, it's just, it's just there, but we're going to be able to play the game in 60 frames, 1080, maybe even not 4K, but 1080p, it's going to look really nice, 1440 maybe even. Who knows? So, that information dropped. The direct showcasing the Switch 2 came and went. And then, just recently, we got all the information, or not all of the information, but we got a lot of information regarding all of the games that are going to be getting not only Switch 2 editions, but the games that are getting updates for the Switch 2, which is two very distinct, different things, right? There's the Switch 2 editions, which are just versions of the game built with the Switch 2 in mind, and then there's the Switch 2 updates, which are games from Switch 1 era that are getting updates to, make them run and look and play a little bit better on the Switch 2, right? Two separate situations, right? I thought that, I assumed that Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition would have just simply been in, it could have gone either way. I would have assumed in the former camp with the 60 frame toggle and stuff like that, because that's just a better running game, and it already, to me, it already looks pretty stable, generally speaking. It's not the strongest thing ever, but for what it has to do, for all of the stuff that it has to calculate, that game runs surprisingly well. Okay, I appreciate the hell out of Xenoblade Chronicles X. But it's super weird that we got confirmations of all these different games. Super Mario Odyssey, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which desperately needed that update. What are the other games? ARMS, of all things. Why is ARMS getting an update? Who's been playing ARMS? You're telling me, we're going to talk about this. How did ARMS get an update for Switch 3 or Switch 2 before Splatoon 3? That's absolutely insane to me. But weirdest of all is that Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition has no mention in either of those camps. Why? And then that thought kind of spiraled a little bit because I'm like, wait a minute. First off, how is it that none of the other Xenoblade games are getting any touch-ups or updates in regards to the Switch 2? Like, I know that the games run okay as they are and stuff like that, but like, we can't get a little bit more going? We can't put a little bit more power behind some of Nintendo's biggest games? Like, not in terms of popularity, no, but in terms of like genuine power. Like, Monolith Soft, absolute demons in the booth. Everything that they do, everything that they craft is with heart, okay? Because not only do they go out of their way to make these insanely, like, heartfelt stories that matter so much and can teach so many lessons, but they make these games manage to look and run incredibly on the weak-ass hardware that they're always limited to. Like, how are you gonna sit there and tell me Xenoblade Chronicles was a Wii game? I mean, yeah, the characters look disgusting, but like, if you were to play Xenoblade Chronicles, the original Definitive Edition, you need to remember that all that they really did was touch up on a couple of assets and make the UI look a little bit, or a lot better, and make the game just generally look a little prettier. That game, as it is, that was a Wii game, 2008, brother. Are we crazy? They have spent their entire careers working with weak hardware. And now that we finally have stronger hardware, we have yet to hear about these absolute masterpieces of games that take the general scope of overall games to a new level for Nintendo, and they aren't getting any mention yet. That's super weird. I have to imagine we're getting some form of update in regards to that. Maybe we're getting another, I don't know. It's hard to say because I'm pretty sure that this arc of Xenoblade is finished. But maybe a new Xenoblade game could be on the way, and maybe once they finally talk about that, because it has been, what, 3 years now, maybe we could finally get our hands on all of the definitive editions and stuff like that for the Switch 2, for all of these Xenoblade games, for 1, 2, X, and 3. I don't know. These games are too recent and too active in terms of community to not have anything, especially when you just dropped a game 2 months ago. 2 months ago, a definitive edition with the toggle data mined. We already know it's all in there, but no mention of it? Why? Why? That's incredibly odd to me. I just have a hard time believing a situation in which none of these games get their due diligence and get access to higher quality on a more powerful hardware. This is what it's all about right here. These big, massive open fields, all of these creatures roaming around at the same time and being active in the background, especially in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I forgot how just active the world is in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And to not be able to take advantage of the Switch 2 hardware and improve on that look, make it look better, make it feel better, make that world feel even more alive. Oh, we're not doing that? I mean, we have to be. We're just not talking about it yet. Why not? Why don't you tell everybody that just bought that game, hey, if you want to get this little update when you get the Switch 2, the game's going to run a little better. Or alternatively, hey, Switch 2 edition for the brand new game we dropped back in March. It's going to look and run like butter. Maybe anybody who hasn't gotten into the Xenoblade series yet could try their hand at it now because it looks and runs like God. Baffling. Beyond baffling decision to me. I don't know. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it because I simply don't believe that they're going to implement a toggle like that and not actually utilize it. There's something cooking. I'm sure we're going to get some form of like little info drop situation specifically about all of the games that are getting updates and things like that to really showcase what they're going to look like, what they're going to feel like, how they're going to play and stuff like that. And maybe then we'll actively get all of the information that we need to see when we can get that toggle for Xenoblade, at least Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, because that game just dropped literally 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago. There's no way they're not doing anything with it. I refuse to believe that. So we're going to get some form of little info dump. I don't think it's going to be in the form of a direct or anything like that, especially with, we're definitely not getting a direct anytime soon, not with Summer Games Fest coming up. I don't know if Nintendo's going to be present in that. Have they been? I don't remember, but we'll see. We'll see, because it would be kind of dumb for them to wait until like the end of the year, like holiday season, or even next year, any longer than like August or just general summertime to give us some form of information and updates in regards to what's happening with Xenoblade here, because this is essentially a brand new game for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people didn't get the, a lot of people didn't get to experience Xenoblade Chronicles X because it was stuck on the Wii U, a console that not nearly as many people bought in comparison to the Wii U, or to the Switch, excuse me. So I don't know how well it sold. I have to look into it, but I don't know. I think it'd be dumb to just not give us that update, but I don't know. I guess that's something we're gonna have to play by ear. But either way, I think that just about does it for me. And to just go on a little Xenoblade ramble. I have a lot more Xenoblade rambles in store, by the way. I just finished Xenoblade 2. I need to talk about that. So, we will. But before we get to that, I'm passing the mic over to you guys, and I want you guys to tell me everything that you're thinking in the comment section below. Do you agree that it's possible that we're simply waiting on Xenoblade Chronicles, or we're waiting on, like, some kind of like Switch 2 info dump situation to get information on all of these games that are getting updates, and maybe then that's when they're going to tell us about Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, or possibly any of the other Xenoblade games getting Switch 2 Edition updates or upgrades or something along those lines, or possibly even the possibility that we are waiting on a new Xenoblade or Xeno related game, and that's when we'll get the information? Or do you think that maybe they're just kind of not doing it? Maybe they feel like they don't really need to, and that, you know, they're just kind of ending off the Switch era with all the Xenoblade games being on there, and they don't really feel like they need to do much else with that. Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, it does appear to be skedaddle o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do exactly that. I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm gonzo. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor, taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time.